The sky over New Tanegashima is a harsh, stark gray. Raindrops on concrete coalesce in plastic spillways in the streets, whipped from the spinning tires of quick-lift drones in thin sheets, gurgling down into the lower sectors of the multi-level megacity. Transparent raincoats in the spitting rainfall, flashes of neon blue in the droplets, warped momentary glimpses of the Zaibatsu high-rises, skulking over lower sector Bravo 893. Steam rolls from beneath an awning, and the sickly sweet scent of Japanese stir-fry fills the misty air. "Certified American," boasts the flashing text beneath a glass tube American flag. The musty windows of a utilitarian apartment building above the street, foggy with condensation from the rising steam below, gaze wearily with the stinted reflections of grayish hologram dancers in their eyes. The low, trilling hum of a police gunship vibrates through the air as it passes lazily over the tops of the buildings, skirting beneath the elevated highways that curve above the sunken city, a sleek, angular shark swimming in crowded waters, illuminating rooftops with dual floodlights. The dealers and prostitutes with their street-side augmentations pay no mind, their focus on the passers-by. The air-thick scent of smoggy petrichor, and the sounds of rolling thunder and wet tires, and the murmur of the nightlife, and the moist buzzing of the holograms blends together in the rushing spillways. This is 893. Holographic police tape cuts a perfect square out of the sidewalk. Two automated police vehicles, their dark, slanted windshields dotted with rain, flash red-blue on either side of the industrial double doors of the apartment building. Helmeted officers flank the vehicles on the sidewalk, droplets rolling down the tinted face shields that obscure their eyes. Tight block letters flash intensely on their black body armor. Police, Polizia, Kaisatsu. The hushed whispers of cautionary onlookers cut out. The growl of a juiced electric engine rolls beneath the hum of the lurking gunship overhead. An orange sports car rolls up to the edge of the scene. The doors slide open smoothly, and a man and woman step into the rain. "Shell, take the car around the block," the woman says, taking in the building above. Automatically, the doors click shut and the car backs away, turning itself around in one smooth motion before rolling off in the other direction. One of the officers approaches.
"Identification."
The man turns to him smoothly. "We're with the JOC. The scanner mounted on the officer's helmet flashes red. Something blue buzzes across his face shield. He nods subtly, tapping a button on his arm-mounted control panel. The police tape dematerializes.
"Mr. Oshii, Miss Kessler, right this way."
Nakamura really thinks this one's worth our time? Kessler slips a pair of dark, mirrored sunglasses off of her eyes and drops them into the breast pocket of her fitted trench coat. The two JOC agents trudge up the cramped, dark stairwell of the apartment building toward the third story. Mesa may have found a connection between the victim and the Wheatfield incident. Oshii coughs, pulling a rebreather mask out of the sling bag on his back and pulling it over his face. "I'd rather be out scoping tangible threats than investigating one of Mesa's hunches. Small-time homicide isn't really our jam." Better we do it than have one of these local jobs lose valuable information stored in his deck, right? Kessler grunts dejectedly. At the top of the stairs, they turn down a short, dreary hallway, light illuminating an open doorway near the end. 3 investigators in blue pressurized sanitary suits file out of the room, their faces hidden behind medical rebreather helmets. "You two must be with the JOC's cybercrime division." "That's us." "Right. The forensic scanning is finished up, so we're moving the body in about 15 minutes. He's still connected to his rig, and nothing has been tampered with. Now, given the sensitive nature of the scene..." "Yeah, we got it," Kessler says coolly. "We've been briefed. We won't mess it up. We're only here to tap his brain, or whatever's left of it." The faceless investigator nods. Sure. You'll need the protective equipment in the cart next to the door. Make sure you're cleared with the coroner inside before you touch anything. Is the smell not getting to you?" Kessler smirks. Oshii grumbles through his rebreather. "She's full cyborg. Probably killed her olfactory systems while we were in the car." He nudges her. "Come on." As the two of them head for the cart by the door, the investigator shakes his head. Fucking spooks. The single-room apartment is much like the rest of the gloomy building. Small, dark, and inexplicably moist. Dim light from the wide singular window on the wall falls on a stain-covered mattress, partly covered with a twist of dirty sheets. An excuse of a filthy kitchenette is piled high with dishes and smut magazines. Robo-girls, hot synthetics, skin. Against the right wall looms an assemblage of computer monitors built atop a multi-paneled desk. Several cutting-edge computer decks are hooked up to a pristine glass-cased server in the far corner, cables and wires neatly bundled into tight black ropes that snake along the wall. The two central monitors take up most of the space. Black text on the screens read, "No connection." He sits in a pair of ragged athletic shorts in the off-white glow of the monitors. His 60 pounds of extra weight tilt his hydraulic gaming chair backwards. Reclined, arms hanging limply at his sides, head cocked back dumbly like he's staring at the sun. A full immersion Magneco headset, black reflective paneling shining in the glow of the dead screens, adorns his head. The grizzled flesh around what was once his mouth drips with congealed blood and saliva, his exposed teeth slightly parted in a zombie-like grimace. Kessler finishes pulling on her gloves and protective dust mask at the forensics cart as Oshii steps closer to the body. The coroner stands against the wall, eyeing them through a slit in his visor. He had a pet ferret. A real one? Yep, they haven't been able to find it. Kessler laughs. I guess that explains the beautiful smile. Had a snack, then hit the road. All right, Oshii breathes. Let's get to it. Kessler walks carefully over to the chair where the dead man reclines, pulling two long data cords out of a black military butt pack at her waist. She plugs one into a plastic adapter installed at the base of her neck. I'm using the barrier. I don't want any hostile code lurking beneath this fine posterior to fry my brain too. Good plan, I'll spot you. Kessler pulls a third wire out, checks it, then hands it briskly to Oshii, who plugs it into the nape of his neck as well. Kessler cautiously tilts the dead man's head to reveal 3 similar ports on his neck. Damn, our boy had some shiny new hardware. Looks like Hamasaki's new dive uplink. She clicks the head of the cord into place. Locked in? We're good to go, Kessler says. Hope the water's not too cold. She initiates the dive and plunges into a grayed-out void. Here, she has no body. Just a digitized concept of her subconsciousness projected onto the net. She feels herself simply existing in an utterly textureless space. The digital mindscape of a dead man. His brain is toast. Big surprise. I'm not seeing any hostile code. Copy. I'm gonna try loading the programs that are still running on his rig. Kessler fades out of the gray. She dives farther away from his brain and into his computer decks, exploring their running functions. Simple polygons pop out of black liquid. She glides over them, inspecting their labels. A red triangle starts to spin as she grows closer. I've got a proxy relay connected to a server. I'm going to follow it. Suddenly, Kessler is falling through a dark chasm, wind whipping past her face. Oshii's voice echoes through the darkness. Is he using a construct API? Kessler blinks. Can't see a damn thing right now. I'm getting some weird interference. Some kind of defense protocol is giving me the runaround. Can you run an overclock program and jump this shit real quick? Sure thing. Something whirs in the darkness, and the smell of red wine and fine dining hits her like a freight train. Her hand closes around a doorknob. She goes through and steps into the sultry light of a high-class, utterly empty restaurant. A deep red Victorian-style wallpaper, adorned with oil paintings of naked women, coalesces in a stunningly complex plaster ceiling, illuminated by an impossibly large crystal chandelier. White cloth tables, preset with elegant silverware and flickering candles, stretch in all directions like breaching whales. Where'd you go? I don't see you on the manifest, Oshii echoes in her ear. Are you still local? His proxy took me somewhere else. I'm standing in some private server. The Construct API has it done up like a classy restaurant. She takes in an oil painting on the nearby wall where young girls engage in an exotic orgy. I have a feeling this place is exactly what we're looking for. I'm gonna ping you, see if you can't pick up where this place is located. Kessler sends a relay signal back to Oshii just as a new voice calls smoothly from behind. Mr. Dunbar, a pleasure to have you back. Kessler turns to face a young woman, long brown hair spilling down her naked chest, a short apron loosely tied around her waist. Light glints off of the glasses on a small serving tray in her hand. Unfortunately, Monaco's regular operations have been suspended until further notice. I apologize for the inconvenience. Oshii, there's a program in here. Be careful, I haven't found you yet. She just called me Mr. Dunbar. She thinks you're the victim? Seems like it. I'm gonna try to initiate with her. Kessler looks down at the program disguised as a nude waitress. What's your primary function? I satisfy. As one of our valued clientele, you can consider me your guide to all of Monaco's fine dining simulations and exotic entertainment constructs. Do you have access to server information? Yes, sir. Why is the server locked down? One of our prime server moderators initiated the lockdown. That's all I can say. The program gives a little smile. Found you, Oshii says. You're in a red band fetish server operating out of Sector Bravo 806. It's locked down tight with a two-factor bioauthentication system. I think the server's registry is confusing you with Dunbar because you're accessing it through his brain here in the apartment. The system can't distinguish you from the real thing because you're also using his registered IP address. This place has to be connected to Wheatfield. From the looks of things, I'd agree. That's a lot of unnecessary security protocol for a casual sex sim. Kessler looks around the room, then asks the program, When's the last time I was here? Your last log was 19 days ago. Looks like you were pushed out with everybody else. Pushed out, Oshii says. The server must have been forcibly evacuated by the mods. Be careful, I'm starting a secondary security scan. This poor bastard's been locked for 19 days, Kessler says to Oshii. I'd wager our vigilante may have had something to do with that. She edges past the program. Can I look around? Of course, Mr. Dunbar. You're welcome to browse the Construct archive. Today's safe word is, she leans in close and whispers, Tallahassee. Duly noted, thanks, Kessler remarks as she steps into the empty restaurant. She traces her way through the tables, inspects the vast Baroque bar, then heads towards a doorway obscured by rich velvet curtains. Cautiously, she peeks behind them. Found the Visual Construct archive. Kessler sweeps the curtains aside to reveal an impossibly long hallway lined with hundreds of doors. An ambiguous curve to the hall obscures its end. The lamplights on the wall flick on as she walks forward. Gold-plated placards mounted alongside the doors glint in the low light. Medieval dungeon, sanatorium, boarding school? Kessler reads. I see 'em. All Visual Construct outputs, Oshii says. All weird places to do it, more like. She stops abruptly at a door labeled Arctic Tundra, unoccupied. These constructs are still active. Or are they still live if the server's locked down? Not sure. I don't see anything wrong with it out here, but I wouldn't risk it. Let's pull out and do another run-through when we get back to HQ. I'm just gonna take a quick look. She pushes her way through the door, and her boots crunch abruptly in heavy snowdrift. Wind whips past her face. She's standing in a bleak, blistering snowstorm. The skyline is painted with a rich orange and red as the sun slips into a sea of white. Before her, the flap of a sealskin tent jerks violently in the wind. A figure stumbles out. It's so cold, whispers an impossibly beautiful woman in an oversized parka, clutching her arms against her chest. Can you help me? Kessler scoffs, then turns to leave. Behind her yawns the endless stretch of tundra. She frowns. Oshii, there's no exit. No exit? Hang on, I'm looking into it. The woman drifts closer to her. Please, it's so cold. There must be something you can do. Oshii's voice echoes in the cold air. Did you try a manual extraction? Kessler pulls out of her digital consciousness and tries to force the server to quit. The error report hits her like cold water on the small of her back. No dice, I'm stuck. Whoa, something's up. The code for that construct looks like it's been modified. Feels like the dive client's messed up. I should be able to pull out whenever I want, but something's keeping me locked in. The woman draws closer. Kessler can see snowflakes stuck in idyllically thick eyelashes. Please, I'm so cold. Stop. Go back in the tent. The program stops her advance. I've got it, Oshii says. Someone got in there and laced in a new set of parameters for the dive client on this server. I don't know how the hell they did it. It overrides federally mandated safety protocols. Manual dive extraction is overridden, Kessler says to herself, her eyes on the woman in the parka. Hey, take a look at the other program in this construct. She's giving me the creeps. Sure thing. The woman in the parka lunges forward, and the whistle of a blade hisses through the snowy air. The ice pick makes hard contact with Kessler's shoulder blade. Hot pain jolts through her body as she jerks out of reach, legs catching her weight for a rebound. Kessler's fist slams into the woman's middle. A shockwave stops falling snowflakes in their tracks as the woman flies limply into the swirling white distance. The ice pick juts stiffly from Kessler's shoulder blade. She grips the handle. Damn, that smarts. Did she just attack you? Yep. Kessler yanks on the handle of the ice pick. Blood seeps from the wound in her shoulder and begins to spread down the back of her coat. She feels her pain dampeners fire for an instant, then fail as another error report washes over her. Shit! This construct blocks pain dampeners? It's a fetish server, Oshii says, his voice focused. Looks like that's part of the consent form you sign upon access. No option for pain dampeners enhances the experience, I guess. I'm extracting you now. Hold on, Kessler says. She glares into the swirling storm. The woman in the parka, legs pumping at maximum speed, is drawing closer from across the way. She grins. No way. It's still operational. Extracting in 4 seconds. Hang on. She leans back, ice pick in hand. Her combat processors flick on, calculating the trajectory. Her arm fires like a cannon, sending the ice pick flitting through the air. It makes contact, sending the woman tumbling head over heels. She recovers perfectly, maintaining her speed with the ice pick buried in the center of her chest. Kessler smiles. All right, pull me out.
Thanks for listening. American Cyberpunk is written and produced by me, Dan Lyons. My outro music is Without You by Outgoing Hikikomori. You can find all music used in this production in the description of the video. Thanks for listening.